this season on Boston's Finest.
Gangs out there, they want to take matters into their own hand. Revenge happens every day.
Cross the street, cross the street!
I immediately start thinking, who's involved? The adrenaline starts pumping. When you cut someone's fingers off, that's a message.
Riding alone, there is going to be a day where what you don't expect to happen does happen. And you don't know how far the other unit is.
We all want to do the job. We all want to get the bad guy off the street. We all have one goal. And that's to make the city of Boston safer.
April 15th, it was a marathon day. I knew it was going to be a great day.
A lot of police run it, a lot of firefighters run it, nurses, doctors.
The whole department supported one another, not just different units and not just different police officers.
Everyone just came together for one cause, to help out the people that were hurt.
I love the city of Boston. We come together as a family when there's a crisis.
You need to be ready for anything.
It's where I was born and raised, and I'll stand by it.
Boston takes care of Boston.
In the city where our independence began, the 4th of July is an important day. This year, it means more than ever to the citizens of Boston as they stand together for the first big event in the city since the events surrounding the Boston Marathon just a few months ago. Officer D'Arujo, an 8-year veteran of the gang unit, prepares for what's always the busiest day of the year for the men and women of the Boston Police Department.
Our job is dangerous. When you get up in the morning, when you go to work, you never know what's gonna happen. You don't know if you're gonna come back home to your family or not.
Thousands coming out for the annual Boston Marathon. Today, all you runners, it was a huge day.
You can go to work, it can be an easy day, it can be a busy day. You can't predict how your day is gonna be.
Apparently, there's been an explosion at the Boston Marathon.
Near the finish line on Boylston, the FBI and our law enforcement partners are fully committed to bring those responsible.
These two brothers, most wanted men in the world.
Justice.
When I feel the pain, I get inspired by the memory of the bombings, and it just makes me not want to give up.
The hunt is focused, but not confined to Cambridge and Watertown.
Considered to be extremely dangerous, no one should approach them.
Boston, Massachusetts remains under a virtual lockdown.
Every year when I work the Boston Marathon, every year I keep on saying I'm gonna run it, I'm gonna run it. This year it's the year for me to do it. As a city, we're not gonna give up.
We train to run towards these things. We train to go towards the dangers. My wife was deployed down there that day. A lot of my friends who were police officers down there.
Greg Dankers usually works in plain clothes as a member of the Fugitive Unit. But he's wearing a different uniform on this Independence Day.
I'm told that they have a suspect cornered. This has become a much bigger story, the scope of which we're not quite clear of.
While the rest of the Fugitive Unit will go after their usual suspects, Dankers has been assigned elsewhere in the city.
What started about 23 hours ago now seems to be finally over. According to the Boston Police Department, the suspect is in fact in custody.
I take pride in being from Boston. It's given me my family. It's given me everything I have.
Dankers is headed to downtown Boston, not far from the bombing site.
Bye, babe.
To be part of the proud and massive team of police on patrol.
That's why I like being a Boston police officer, protecting the city.
A U.S. law enforcement official tells CNN Tsarnaev brothers initially considered this attack during the 4th of July celebration. Tsarnaev told investigators they moved up the date to the Boston Marathon because the bombs were ready sooner than expected.
People might come down, they might be nervous about, large crowds and all that stuff, but, Boston's open for business. We're not gonna let this stop us. We knew all eyes were on us. We were out there and we made them feel safe.
A lot of officers like Greg Dankers might be on special assignment this 4th of July. But no one's under any illusion that ordinary crime takes the day off for the holiday. And across town, Dankers' usual detail is starting their shift.
We're the unit that gets called when there's somebody wanted for a serious crime, mostly violent crimes, and they're on the run. Target Cameron Keniston. He's supposed to be up in that area, like Mass Ave, where the McDonald's is. He's a drug user and probably frequents that area. He's got several warrants, some in the city and some out of the city.
He's kind of got a violent history, larceny from a person, B&E, that kind of stuff. 2 NCIC hits out of New York. They want him pretty bad. He's on the run. He knows he's on the run, so.
We received information that Keniston was, assaultive to the police in the past and allegedly involved with a supremacist group. Because of that, we were going to use caution with him.
Yeah, his old girlfriend, she's in and out of rehabs, might be up in the area.
If we see her, we'll follow her to see if she meets up with him. If we see him first, then it'll just be on when we see him. It's a pretty small, specialized unit. There's not 50 of us, so as a result, every person counts. We're late a little bit today. We don't have a ton of people, so we'll all get out there on this. Questions?
Find the target. The job might sound simple at first, but not so much when the target could be hiding anywhere in Boston.
My name is Jennifer Penton. I work for the Boston Police Department in the patrol unit.
With their longtime partner, Pat Rogers, now assigned to a different unit. For the first time in 4 years, Officer Jennifer Penton is rolling out alone.
Being a female and riding by yourself is different. When you're riding alone and you're dealing with someone that is bigger than you or maybe faster than you look at things a little bit differently. You're a little bit more tactful with your approaches. You don't want someone out there thinking that they can get the best of you.
Normally, Officer Penton has her hands full with regular street patrol. But the tension in the city over the last few months has meant new kinds of reports to check on.
Lima 101, caller reporting an unattended black bag sitting on the street.
Since the marathon, we've had a ton of calls for unattended bags, suspicious packages left, especially in public areas. People are a little bit nervous. You go through a whole thought process. Is it in a place with pedestrians and vehicle traffic? Is it, train station? It could be, something dangerous. It might be nothing. Sometimes it is just what it is. Someone left a bag.
Hi, ma'am, did you call?
With the way that the world is changing, everyone is a little bit more alert and cautious.
Thank you, ma'am.
It turned out to be nothing, but you still have to approach it like it could be something. Because there is going to be a day where what you don't expect to happen does happen, and you want to be ready for that.
It'll be a long night. I'm gonna spending more time with you than you spend at home.
I know.
Dee and his partner Manny Canuto are starting a double shift that will last deep into the night. Patrolling the streets of Roxbury and Dorchester, the same streets they used to play on as kids. And they know the holiday patrol has its own kind of dangers.
I started policing on 4th of July. It's different because there's multiple things going on.
There's a lot of shootings, a lot of gun arrests. One of the main reasons why there's so many shootings is because gang members definitely feel like they can take advantage of that day because the citizens doesn't know the difference between fireworks and gunshots.
The 4th of July is always a challenge for us in the city. Family celebrations we encourage and we want people to have a good time. We've noticed over the last several months that there have been people who are setting up illegal parties, selling alcohol illegally, and we found a significant amount of violence occurring at these parties.
You know, criminals, they know we're busy out there.
They think the police department is too busy in downtown Boston.
You know, they'll try to take advantage of it.
The idea is prevention. We want to stop things before we have any violence.
As you can see, it's cookouts every block, every corner you take.
You know, it's 4th of July. Everyone's out there, you know, trying to enjoy themselves.
Every year it's like this. Every year it's like this.
But fortunately, people's gonna come from everywhere. Gang members gonna come from everywhere.
We're all right, guys, all right?
You know, they get in separate cars, they're driving around, they see individuals that they have problems with. That's when it escalates to a whole nother level.
Our day is just getting started.
Victor K11, report of 3 males, one possibly with a firearm on Dudley.
It's the worst call you can ever go to when it's dealing with firearms.
It's gonna be down here on your left.
Anything can happen. You're kind of bracing yourself for the worst.
Hey, you see your hands back. Keep your hands right where I can see him. Hey, stop. No, not you, him. He was here with them. Did you come from that store there?
The 4th of July is off to a fast start for officers Manny Canuto, Dia Rujo, and the gang unit.
Stay over here with the group, right? What do you got going on? They said there was 3 males with white T-shirts. Suppose he has a gun on him.
A recent increase in violent crime during the holiday has forced the Boston Police Department to take any and all measures in protecting these neighborhoods, which means any call about a firearm has to be taken seriously.
I think the population is on edge. You'll get numerous calls for guns, and, you know, sometimes it's nothing. Sometimes you get there, you know, someone's shot.
Same lady called for me, so we gave her description. I don't know, she could just be called, just saying guns just to get us out here, yeah. To be honest with you, I don't think it's done.
I approach the police work now, especially for big events. Anything can happen. I take every little threat seriously.
The city has been standing strong over the past few months. And the police department is upholding their commitment to keeping Boston safe. From the streets of Dorchester to the crowds filling downtown Boston to celebrate their independence, to the vast expanse of Boston Harbor. Covering 48 square miles, the harbor is the largest jurisdiction of any single unit in the department. Officers Kevin Smith and Steve Merrick have been on the harbor patrol for over 15 years. They know these waters as well as anybody.
Really anything that a cop would do on land, we're gonna do on the water.
Being on the harbor patrol, it's different from being on the street, responding in a patrol car. Danger is a little different for us as far as boating and rough seas, other boats, a lot of boat activity, you know, going in the water.
They're estimating, what, 500,000 tonight?
Yeah, something like that.
You never know what's gonna happen on the 4th. It's our busiest day of the year. There'll be hundreds of boaters, a ton of tour boats out there, ferries.
Protecting the harbor, that's our #1 goal out there.
On 7. Tango Harbor 4 is on 7.
You hear that call? The guy is blocking crab with the backpack, chain thing to himself.
Going up. Fire it up. Hang on, big wave coming.
Tango Harry 4 on channel 6.
Tango Harry 4.
Ma'am, we're responding to that barking crab location.
Tattoos. Lightning bolt tattoos on his arms. Not a fan of the police.
The Fugitive Unit is on the hunt for Cameron Keniston, an alleged associate of a local white supremacist group, wanted on drug charges.
We like to do surveillance because it kind of gives us a handle on, you know, what we're really looking at. We set up a surveillance to locate Keniston and a female associate that could also be down there in the area.
Across South Boston, Officer Mike McHugh is keeping an eye out for Keniston's ex-girlfriend. A known IV drug user herself, the Fugitive Unit's hope is that following her will lead them to their target.
He's dragging her down with the heroin.
And she's supposed to be waiting for him with a bunch of pills and whatever. Supposedly, you know what I mean?
Okay, Mike.
So once you see her, Mike, call it, and we're gonna slide in behind you to help you out.
My job is to track this wanted person, but I also feel like I have a job to help the girl that's caught up in this situation. There's so many people out there that it is happening to, and I wish there was something that I could do to help them.
This parking lot blows up once in a while. See that girl over there? We know her.
Yeah, sir, he looks good.
It's a positive ID on the girlfriend. The trail to Keniston is heating up.
Take a look off this?
Yep. You can look down on the dock from there.
At a nearby marina, Officers Smith and Merrick investigate an all-too-familiar call over the last few months. A report of a suspicious man with a backpack.
Check the other side. Tango Harry 1, just wondering if they had a call back for this.
If that's about the suspicious person, it was a lady on site, and we spoke to her.
We're here taking a look around, and we're gonna clear in a minute.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll appreciate the presence. They're a little nervous down there, that's all.
I was relieved when it turned out to be nothing. Maybe, you know, somebody saw something that looked a little more dangerous or out of place than it was. How you doing?
Good day.
Beautiful day, isn't it?
And the city's on edge a little bit with, you know, the past history and everything going on in the world. It's all clear.
Roger that.
We're there to be ready for anything that happens.
You wanna go by Washington Street? I got a good feeling.
I was just thinking the same thing.
Street criminals definitely use the 4th of July as their day to go out there. They know it's a busy day.
Someone just go down over there. Go down the next street.
No, the kid ran in the back street.
Stop this guy. Stop.
Go around, go around. Our partner's on for a chase. Yeah, ran in the back street. Go around, go around. Our partner's on for a chase.
Would you pull back? Hold on. Would you pull back there, dude? Don't play around. Don't play around. I'm serious.
On patrol in Dorchester, Officers Manny Canuto and Diarujo don't let a man fleeing into a backyard get far, and now have to figure out why he took off in the first place.
Yeah, we got that suspect in the backyard here. We're just looking around, see if he tossed anything.
Come on, you know me, though. I'm not stupid. You should never ran, dude.
Street criminals might think the police are tied up with the city's Independence Day celebration. But backup gang unit and patrol officers arrive on the scene quickly. Today, nobody's taking any chances.
He went through the back here. Just this way. I mean, if you want to check again, just see if he didn't toss something back there anymore. He saw us over here. He broke off. Came through the back over here. I caught him back here.
Nothing there. I didn't throw nothing there. I ain't worried about nothing.
But every cop knows, nobody runs from nothing.
Hey, I got some weird.
See, I knew it. Yo, you found that, bro?
Found what?
That? Found that in the yard?
How'd you know what it was?
Yo, that's not mine, bro.
We'll talk about it in a little bit.
Keeping the peace on a day like today means no crime is too small. And a bag of weed packaged for sale means the runner will be locked up.
I'm not saying you're a bad person. I'm not. No.
Getting rid of weed out the street, you know, it just prevent them from getting that money to go and buy a firearm. It just prevents these kids from committing a bigger crime.
Days already starting like this, huh?
Dude, what's up with that water with all those fruits in it?
man. Getting ready, dude.
Ready for what?
Running every morning.
Every day?
Every day.
So does that mean after drinking all this water, you have to go to the bathroom more often?
Dude, you go to the bathroom more than me. You go to the bathroom more than me, though.
So, Sarge, we're in the parking lot of South Bay over here, and we kind of like this girl that's here.
Back in South Boston, Officer Mike McHugh is keeping an eye on the ex-girlfriend of Cameron Keniston.
Yeah, Sarge, we got her. She looks good.
Sergeant Detective Albert and Detective Williams wait a few blocks away, looking out for Keniston, ready to help trail his associates.
You know, sometimes if people go on the run, they will have friends and family, you know, try to bring them things.
She's looking all around. She might be getting ready to skip.
How many
You're finding the right. Just go.
There's risks involved in a role in surveillance in that if they see you, you're kind of blowing it up.
Where do you see her, Mike? She's walking very quickly over the bridge now.
Being the sergeant, I'm responsible to make the right decisions at the right times.
Brian Albert knows the drug corners of South Boston well, and he has a hunch which way the girl is heading.
Mike, yeah, you can follow her. Just
Try to stay loose. Keep doing what you're doing. Let me know on 10 when she's walking this way.
The idea is to get there first, in case Keniston is waiting for her.
Lima 411. I'm Charlie Robert. What do you have?
On patrol in Mattapan, Officer Jennifer Penton is on the front lines as the day-long 4th of July celebrations continue to heat up.
Can you start towards Cummins and Rosewood Street? Caller said he was driving by and noticed some sort of disturbance. All I have is that it's a white male, no further description. Female is a black female, wearing a black shirt.
Being the first unit to respond to a call puts a little feeling in the pit of your stomach. You already know that there's at least 2 people, and there's only one of you, and you don't know how far another officer is. Yep. What's going on, guys? Good, how are you? Just sit tight. Okay. Okay. All right. Do me a favor. I'm gonna talk to you, and you're gonna talk to my partner right behind you. You're gonna talk to him, and I'm gonna talk to him.
Though they no longer patrol together, Jen Penton knows her former partner, Pat Rogers, is out on the streets nearby.
Even though Pat and I don't get to ride together, I see him throughout my shift, and he's always, someone who backs me up. Are you gonna tell me what happened? Obviously, you guys are gonna know.
Nothing happened. We're gonna go home and make love.
Okay, but here's the thing. That's too much information.
Well, you know what? People need to mind their business.
Judy, we've been dealing with this for the longest time, all right? You've been dealing with you two for the longest time, dealing with your BS.
I love him. Can we go home?
See you also?
Yeah. Go home.
Those situations where people are drinking makes it more difficult to do our job. And with 4th of July, I'm just not gonna have anything turn into more of a problem. I love how you and Judy are on like a first-name basis. Riding alone has its dangers and has its difficulties. They're engaged, But knowing that you have 2,500 officers that have your back no matter what, it's a great feeling. It's a thin blue line. It's the family that we have in law enforcement.
In South Boston, the team of cars searching for Cameron Keniston is split up.
Mike McHugh, where I'm parked at the mobile. This is right in that area where maybe she was going.
Yeah, Sarge, we got you.
Officer Mike McHugh keeps the tail on an old girlfriend of Keniston's, while Albert and Williams set up a new location to get the drop on their ultimate target.
It's an area frequented by, drug users. It just comes down to instinct, and, I felt that this guy was going to be down there. How about this kid with the Red Sox shirt on?
Looks good.
981. Definitely think this is going to be him. Car's pulling out now. Cutting across the lot here. Going out the mobile at the one-way.
Mike McHugh, do you want to come down here and back me up here?
Yeah, I'm gonna take this one way and I'm gonna stalk him.
Yeah. That looks good.
981. So there's a white male star tattoo on one of his arms coming from the mobile gas station.
A sweltering 4th of July afternoon in South Boston heats up for the Fugitive Unit. They've ID'd their target, Cameron Keniston.
Mike McHugh, do you want to come down here and back me up here?
Multiple unit surveillance on his girlfriend is paid off, but some confusing details are creating concern.
But he has another girl with him.
I know.
Doesn't make sense, right? I liked it, but it doesn't look right. He's got
a female with him, not your female.
He's all over the place. Now he just pulled out of a spot and going out the mobile at the one-way. Yeah, I'm gonna take this one way here. I'm gonna stop him, okay?
He's all over the place anyway. He doesn't know where he's going.
He's terrified of you, Ty.
It's the police, bud.
Take the keys out. Take the keys out.
All right, shut that off, though. Why are you driving around all crazy?
Surrounding Fugitive Unit cars converge on Keniston.
Do me a favor. Don't push off the car when I'm talking to you, okay?
Following one girlfriend got Keniston in handcuffs.
Come on out. Come on out. Come on out.
But another woman in his car still has to be questioned.
Who is this gentleman to you?
He's my friend.
He's your friend, okay. The girls usually kind of deny what they're doing. Okay, all right.
To New York, and I don't even know.
Okay.
It's all right, Ari, relax. Everything's gonna be okay.
I also have an obligation to try and do whatever I can to help her, to get her out of that situation. One major step is to get that person away from them.
She's all set.
You can't just go rushing into these things. They take time. You know, that's really what our specialty is. That's the purpose of the unit, and, you know, we do a pretty good job at it.
On patrol as part of the department-wide police presence to stop the increase of 4th of July street crime, Manny and Dee know that the mission of protecting their city means letting the people of Boston know they're safe.
It's an important day. You know, people knows that there's a lot going on in the city. We try to stop by different events, cookouts or anything, and let them know that you're out there.
They work to protect the very streets they grew up on. 2 officers who are also just a couple of kids from the neighborhood.
Hey, see the difference here? Everyone in white shirt is just relaxing. Guys in black shirts. What's up, man?
You know, I'm out there for the people that lives in the city of Boston.
Enjoy your day. You gotta go back to work.
I want them to feel safe knowing that no one's gonna be doing shooting, no one's gonna be walking around with a firearm.
I'll talk to you later. This is the closest we're gonna get to a cookout. Oh, this is it, dude. You know what's the funny thing is?
So yeah, I gotta go use the bathroom.
See, we're trying to do some work. You're talking about bath. Huh? Look who's complaining now. She never brought it up.
As the sun sets on the holiday, the job for the police department only intensifies.
You're good over here.
Officers Kevin Smith and Steve Merrick have so far been able to keep order with hundreds of boats crowding the harbor for tonight's fireworks.
From the Tango 933, they get a report that there's somebody in the harbor.
You set these lights off. I'm gonna go.
This visual is being reported by Federal Protective Services. Was last seen about 100 yards offshore. He was almost hit by 2 boats.
Nightfall changes everything on the water. Your visibility is extremely restricted. As far as a person going in the water at night, it's probably the worst case scenario.
Harbor 6 is here.
This guy is trying locally courthouse on the East Boston side.
Right.
What did he say? There was a witness?
Ton of witnesses.
Boston PD, be advised we have a coast transit inbound with lead capabilities, over.
With another flare.
The Coast Guard sends in its largest boat in the hopes that aerial flares will light up the dark harbor enough to find someone in the water.
He either got on a mooring or he went under.
Functions now, we got stabbing. Color states his cousin was stabbed in the neck.
After a long night of drinking, it gets to a point that these house parties usually turn into problems. Usually there are different neighborhoods that show up to the same party, and once they get there, they realize that they have problems with someone else.
Is he stabbed bad?
It was a chaos scene. Everyone was screaming from everywhere.
A party's turned violent, and a man has collapsed after being stabbed.
A bunch of people applying pressure to his neck. We don't know where it happened, and at the same time, they won't tell us who did it.
This kid's gonna bleed out, man.
are at a house party where a man was stabbed in the neck.
There's a lot of people yelling, crying. You're trying to do your job and hoping to save this individual's life.
You know where? He just dropped on the floor, but I didn't know where he came from.
But at the same time, they won't tell us who did it.
Did you guys hear any fighting out here? No?
Wow, thank you.
Usually they'll tell you they don't know the person. You know, they don't want to tell you nothing.
Sometimes they want to take matters into their own hand.
See if there's any blood trails.
It looks like blood trails, though.
It's like a puzzle, you know. Whatever we can get from a witness to put the puzzle together, that's the way we do it.
That was almost 2 blocks of him bleeding. You can tell his boys were upset, like they kind of knew it wasn't just a random thing, like, you know, it's like a problem that they had with someone.
Revenge happens every day.
The fear for these officers lies in what happens next.
There's a lot of gangs out there, and when something happens, it is going to carry over, and another incident's going to occur.
We have units at the courthouse, and we have several vessels out here doing a search.
It's been 40 minutes since the last sighting of a man who went into the waters of Boston Harbor.
Hey, Top, they probably got a flare.
I have a man down from,
A Coast Guard fleet craft fires flares to illuminate the water. But Kevin Smith and Steve Merrick know that as time ticks away, the chances of a rescue are slim.
But still finally got an update from fire. They put it in as a drowning. 150 yards from Mocha's courthouse.
You'll do the what ifs. What if we got there a little quicker? Or what if we were there when he went in? But at the end of the day, it's part of the job. You just have to deal with it.
What a way to cap off the night, huh?
Not capped off yet, bro.
Well, I know.
Gang members definitely use the 4th of July. People can't tell the difference between fireworks and gunshots. You know, if they go down a block and shoot, someone might not call it in as shots fired.
4th of July don't stop until the weekend's over.
11 cars to come on. I got a call coming in for a person shot at Everton Street.
Well, right? With the violence that's already happened, I had a gut feeling of what's going on.
My man, can you hear me? He's not even responding. Ballistic evidence will be there too. How many shots did you guys hit? 5 or 6 shots? Probably hit more than once.
Shots fired on this Dorchester street hit a young man multiple times, but he's still alive.
Hey, just relax, all right, bro? Ambulance is on the way.
It's a scene that officers Manny Canuto, Dia Rujo, and the rest of the gang unit have come across too many times.
Okay, we got ballistic right here.
Would you guys see anything?
I just heard the shot. You didn't see nothing.
The gang unit officers know all too well that when shootings look like retaliations, no one's going to talk.
No one wants to witness someone being shot.
My man, can you hear me?
It's one of the worst things you can see.
My man, what's your name? He's not even responding. The city's chaos, you know, you're trying to help out people, and at that moment, you might gotta look at it in a different way to make this stop, you know.
Manny and Dee can hope that detectives uncover more information at the hospital. But for now, they're on their own. And they have to figure out what's coming next to stop it before it happens.
I'll be enjoying tomorrow.
When the shooting takes place, the word gets back immediately. These individuals, they're gonna handle their business. We know there's a club in downtown Boston, and there was a lot of different neighborhoods at the same party.
Yes, how you doing, Lieutenant? This is Officer Canuto out of the gang unit.
I informed other officers that there might be a problem in this club.
The officers of the gang unit know the best way to maintain control is to stay one step ahead.
Is he serious? Take off, yo, take off, light's over.
There was a lot of different groups in that club, and after a long night of drinking, that usually intensifies the beefs. That's when it escalates to a whole nother level. It doesn't take much for things to pop off.
The 4th of July is ignited, with partiers from rival neighborhoods clashing outside a crowded downtown club. The police do everything they can to keep the violence from overtaking the entire crowd.
Hey, yo, get out of here! Yo, hey! Oh, here goes the fight. There's another fight, man. Cross the street! Get the out of here! We need more cars down the State Street. We need more cars.
As word of the brawl gets back to partiers inside, the challenge for the police on the scene quickly escalates.
They got people downstairs. They got hundreds of people downstairs. Yo, my man, let's go. Let's go this way. All right, yo, dude. All right, but we've been trying to get you out of here for the past 30 minutes. Let's go.
They're just gonna keep on going back and forth with each other. They don't care about the rest of the people that live in the city of Boston. And that's what we're trained for.
The police don't back down, and the crowd disperses, stifling the threat of further violence.
Boston is my hometown. You know, I want to be able to protect the people that lives in it.
Dude, this was a riot. It was a mini riot. It's crazy. And then at the end, they want to make it seem like it's us, and not them, when it's them that brought us here.
It felt good to be a police officer in a time like that, you know. Made me feel like a stronger person.
So today was a good day? I wanted to work. I wanted to be there. I didn't want to be anywhere else.
Good job, guys. Hey, good job. I feel lucky to be with the guys I am because we're all going to do whatever it takes to, you know, make the city of Boston safer. And we'll all work together to do it.
Our eyes are wide open, we still can't find a way in the dark.
It's been a day spent remembering where we've come from, full of hope with all that lies ahead of us.
The mission is to give back to the city that you love. So I feel our mission was complete.
Forcing our hands in the bricks and the mortar to pull down the walls.
These are the officers of the Boston Police Department. These are the men and women who will never stand down, who will never break the promise they made to protect their hometown.
We hope, but we can't heal it. To say that we're still here.
With experience comes confidence in your abilities. And you have to know that you can take a punch, you can get knocked down, but that you can also get up again.
There was never a time when I didn't think the city wouldn't come together, wouldn't stay strong. It's the tough people that live here. That's just the way we've always been, and we always will be.
It's where I was born and raised, and I'll stand by it.
Alive inside.